Hi guys, how are we doing? Rodian Builds here, and today's video was requested by a viewer, Simon Inger to be precise. He asked if I could have a go at the pick and dip method, so that's exactly what we're going to do today. So let's just get straight into it. So as you can see, I've set up two rack backs here and I've put a line up. Now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to infill this middle bit, nothing too crazy. I'm going to infill it first off with traditional method, and then I'm going to take it back down and hopefully use the same bricks, and I'm going to infill it again in the pick and dip method. Now pick and dip, I haven't done a great deal of it, but I have looked it up and I've had a few practice runs, so I've got the general gist of it. But mainly I want to see if it is faster than doing the traditional way. Now, even though I'm not very good at the pick and dip, if it still turns out to be either the same speed or faster, it is clearly going to be much quicker once you've practiced it. But what we'll do is I'll do these two methods first off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to time lapse both of them, but when I edit it, I'm going to edit it so there's a stopwatch going at the same time. So it basically will time which one's going to be quicker. So I'm going to infill this, do it both, and then we'll come back and have a little discussion, and I'll give you my thoughts on which is the better method. So without further ado, let's get going. Traditional method. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go. There we go, time. Okay, obviously I know how to lay traditionally. It's what I've done for the past 18 years. So what I'll do is I'll take this down now, and then I will come back to you once it's done. I'll explain to you exactly what pick and dip is, and then I will time myself having to go at that. And then what I'll do is once I've done the pick and dip is I will come back, I'll take the footage, I'll check it over in my editing software so I can see exactly how long each one took, and then come back to you and let you know which one is the winner, which one's the loser, and which one I'm going to be using from here on out. So okay, I'll get back to you once I've taken this down. Right, so I've taken down the traditional built wall, and now we're just going to go ahead and do the pick and dip method. But before I go ahead and do that, I want to just sort of explain what pick and dip method actually is. Now, from my knowledge, it originated in Europe, I believe the Netherlands or around that. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Germany. Those Germans are pretty bloody good at absolutely everything, so I'd probably say that. But if anyone knows specifically where pick and dip method came from, please do let me know down in the comments. It'd be great to hear from you and to sort of authenticate where it came from, so to say. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer so I can show you close up exactly what pick and dip method actually entails. So the pick and dip method is pretty much exactly what it says on the tin. You pick up a brick and dip it. When you get the muck, generally people who use this method use a smaller trowel, like probably a 10-inch trowel rather than, say, for example, a 12 or an 11-inch. And all you do is you get a lump of muck on your, or gobber, or whatever you want to call it, on your trowel, and you just put it down like that. I'll do a couple, put it down like that. That's it. You don't scrape it or anything like that. And then what you do is you get a brick, and rather than buttering it up, I'll tell you what, actually, there's actually not enough in there. So it's like that. So you get the brick, and at a 45-degree angle, you press it down, drag a load over to fill up that perp, and then you push it down, and then scrape off. That is pick and dip. So I'll do it once more over here, but I'll try and give you a different angle. So here we go from a different angle. I will grab another brick. And as I said, 45-degree angle, you scoop up some of that muck to fill your perp up, and then you press down and that'll give you that full joint. And that is basically it. And then obviously you tap it around as you would do normally. Right, okay, so now this time I'm going to do the pick and dip method. Now I've explained that. I did say to start with that I was going to use the same bricks, but I noticed that when I was laying the traditional method, I was sort of spending a little bit of time picking a certain brick to use. So I'm going to use completely different bricks, and the mortar is the same consistency. It's not the same stuff I've pulled off here. It's another lump that I had knocked up. So the mortar is the same. I'll be spending a little bit of time choosing a brick to put in, but apart from that, everything's going to be the same. So I'm going to do exactly the same as I did last time. I'll do a 3, 2, 1 and then go. And then I'll just do the pick and dip method, go and review the footage and see which one comes up trumps, and give you my opinion on what I think of both. So, okay, here we go. Pick and dip method in 3, 2, 1, go. There we go, stop. Okay, so I'll have a check against in my editing software to see what the times were. A few things first off. One, I don't know if you noticed in that little time lapse that at 2 points a brick didn't fit in, so I had to shimmy the bricks around. I believe that's down to me paying more attention to rolling the brick, because when you put the brick down, you scoop the muck in, but you have the brick at an angle. Obviously I'm exaggerating here, but you have the brick at an angle like this, so you scoop it in like that, and then when you press it down, you push the mortar this side of the wall, so you don't get much mortar going in the cavity side of the wall. So I think I was paying more attention to that than I was looking down the perps. So there was that little mistake there. It's a little bit awkward for me, because obviously this is like probably the second time I've ever done it in my life, apart from that one time before I filmed, just to get a little practice going. It is a little awkward, but generally you're going to the board, you're picking up a bit of muck, you're picking up a brick at the same time. Plonk, scoop, done. So you're not going backwards and forwards as much as you would do with traditional method. But yeah, it's a very interesting way of doing it. I find doing that, just looking at the wall in compared to the one I did earlier, I find that this is a little bit less, how do we say, a little bit less accurate. There's a little bit more of a wobble to it, but I say that's probably because of the bricks. That might be why those two bricks didn't fit terribly well, because of the size of the bricks. These are reclaims. They're not shop bought bricks. They are, like I say, reclaims, so they're all a little bit over the place. Not as much as those yellows were, but a little bit fiddly, let's say. So that could be the reason that happened, but I don't know. Okay, so what I'll do is I will, it certainly felt quicker, even with those mistakes. This certainly did feel quicker, that's for sure. Okay, so I'll put this footage through my editing software, and I'll see which one comes up trumps, and I will get back to you. Right, so I've got the times here. You guys already know what the times are. We have a clear winner here. Okay, so traditional method, 11 minutes, 54 seconds, 0.02. I don't know why I bothered putting the 02 on the end, because it didn't come down to that short amount of time. Pick and dip method, 8 minutes, 28 seconds, 0.19. That's pretty much 3.5 minutes faster. Now, with the pick and dip method, I was not going as fast as I could, because like I said, it's only the second time I've ever done it. And with the traditional method, again, I wasn't going as fast as I could. I was just trying to sort of go at the pace that I would normally lay bricks at. So yeah, the pick and dip is fantastically quicker. If I spent more time perfecting the pick and dip method, because I found it a little bit cumbersome, a little bit awkward to use, but yeah, if I spent a bit of time on it, I could shave even more time off that. So I reckon if you're doing it at speed, and if you've been doing it a while, you could get that down to almost twice as quick as traditional method. That's some serious numbers. If you're on price and you're building large flanks, in the past I've built houses. I've built probably the largest flank I worked on was 6 terraced houses, all in a straight flank. You could earn some wedge using the pick and dip method for sure. You get those bricks down much quicker. Like I say, I found it a little bit tricky just because I spent more time concentrating on rolling that muck over and getting them sort of to the line, etc, etc, and I didn't pay enough attention to the perps. That's why those bricks were out a little bit. Even taking that into account, those mess ups that I do, 2 bricks that I had to just shimmy around a bit, and it's still 3.5 minutes quicker. It is a very, very interesting method. Now, down to the boiling point. Will I be using the pick and dip method from now on? Yes and no. So, yes, because if I'm working on a large flank, and I want to get it done more quickly, then of course, why the hell would you not do it? It saves time. You're going over, you're getting muck and a brick at the same time, plop, 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 plop. I'd say it's a lot more efficient. But also, on the other end, no. In situations like this, where I'm doing tutorials and things like this, or if I'm doing these fancy builds, I'm not going to use a pick and dip method, because if you're pushing it in, there's a chance if you do, for example, if I'm doing a pier, I'm not going to do a pick and dip method because you could push the brick over. So I think in situations like that, the traditional method would be better. But that's just down to my opinion. It'd be very interesting to hear what you guys all think about it. If you want to learn a little bit more about the pick and dip method, I would suggest go and check out another YouTuber, Charlie Collison. I'll leave a link to one of his videos, the pick and dip video, down in the description. Go and check that out, go and have a look, go and check out his channel. If you watch his video, that will give you more of an insight into how the pick and dip works. Just watch him, and like I say, I'd say from what I can gather, he is using it sort of on site all the time. From what I gather, he uses that as his go-to method. So I'd say he's got some very good insight into the pick and dip. If you want to learn a bit more about it, I'm not versed in it enough to know enough about the ins and outs. So if you have any in-depth questions about it, you can put them down in the comments here. I'd love to hear your questions, but also I'd say go over to his channel, go into his video that I'm going to link below, ask him some questions there, and I'm pretty certain that he'll be able to answer them much better than I can, because like I say, this is the second time I've done this. But yeah, with that being said, I think we will leave it there for today. Please do leave a like down below if you've enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you aren't already. Ring that notification bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Bricks laid, wages paid. Quicker with pick and dip. It's proven. And I will see you guys in the next video. So take care. See you then. Ta-ra. Actually, tell you what, let's do it in 4K and then I can just zoom in on it. Actually, no. Let's film it like that, so I can show you close up exactly what pick and dip method actually entails. Entails? It always sounds like entrails, doesn't it? Weird word. Oh, what was that noise? Okay, so the pick and dip method is pretty much exactly what it says in the... No. Okay, so the pick and dip method is pretty much exactly what it says in the tin. You pick up a prick. No, you don't pick up a prick. You pick up a penguin. No, don't say that, you f***ing Toby. If you want to learn a little bit more about the pick and dip method, I suggest you go and...